Welcome to this explainer. Right now, the MetaQuest store houses over 500 games, right? But if you log in, I guarantee the algorithm is just going to surface the exact same 20 titles you've seen over and over again. It's kind of crazy. Meanwhile, some of the absolute best, most innovative VR experiences of the past couple years are just quietly sitting there with 3-star ratings and maybe 200 reviews, purely because nobody can actually find them. So today we're going to unpack this massive discovery problem, and more importantly, we're going to talk about the solution.
Think about this number for a second. 16,520. That is wild. While the official Meta store obviously only hosts a fraction of that, this massive figure from the VRDB database represents the entire VR ecosystem out there. It's literally an ocean of content. Yet when you throw on your headset and open the official Meta Horizon store, you are actively being shown a tiny fraction of a percent of what your hardware can actually do.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the contrast is stark. On one side, you've got the Meta Store algorithm. It basically just rewards big-budget titles and those super familiar franchises. It turns the storefront into this gray, featureless conveyor belt of historical sales. Plus, the featured shelf is pretty much pay-to-play in terms of influence, which means those small indie studios literally cannot compete with the big marketing budgets. But then, on the other side, just out of view, is the actual VR ecosystem. And guys, it's a vibrant, completely chaotic world full of unseen innovations and wild passion projects.
Industry analysts are actually calling this the algorithmic deadlock. Here's how it works. The store's primary charts aggregate cumulative sales data all the way back to 2019, so these legacy games create this massive self-reinforcing feedback loop. New users buy a 5-year-old blockbuster, cementing it right at the top. Meanwhile, totally fresh experimental games get buried instantly. And it gets worse because the star rating system heavily penalizes early experimental bugs. Just one minor launch issue might earn a genuinely incredible indie game an obscure 3-star rating, and bam, it is permanently hidden from view.
Section 1. The Excavation. Uncovering the Hidden Gems.
So games like Ghost Town already showcase incredible moody atmosphere, but we really want to focus on a few specific titles today that have incredibly strong VR-native design but have just suffered from minimal visibility. Take Night Owl, or Propagation Paradise Hotel. Propagation delivers this deeply immersive, pulse-pounding survival horror that evolves way beyond your standard escape room. It perfectly balances gripping tension and ridiculously high-quality character design with puzzles that actually feel like approachable safe havens within a really dark narrative.
And this brilliantly illustrates the kind of diegetic VR-first design we see in titles like Arcanage. But honestly, this same level of immersion is almost entirely overlooked in Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate. Wanderer pushes standalone hardware to its absolute limits with tactile, physics-based interactions. You want to solve a time-traveling puzzle or craft an item? You're not clicking a floating menu. You literally reach out, grab objects, and physically manipulate them in your environment. It is the absolute gold standard for physical VR, yet it's still out there struggling against the algorithm.
Next up is Puzzling Places. You guys, this is the ultimate cozy experience. At its core, it's a 3D jigsaw simulator. But instead of flat images, you're piecing together detailed, miniature dioramas of real-world places using incredibly accurate photogrammetry data. But what makes it a true hidden gem today is its stunning mixed reality mode. It literally brings fragmented 3D pieces of the real world straight into your living room, so you can just relax and build while still being totally present in your physical space.
Now, for you narrative and puzzle lovers out there, beyond upcoming titles like The Amusement, you have absolute masterpieces sitting right there, like Riven VR. Riven takes that intense, classic puzzle exploration and brings it to an entirely new level of immersion. It features this highly innovative approach to virtual environments, seamlessly mapping massive virtual ruins to your physical movements. It translates deep, methodical puzzle solving into intense psychological exploration. And yet somehow it remains criminally underplayed compared to those top 10 store mainstays.
Finally, for the nostalgia seekers, we've got Age of Joy. Listen, this isn't just a basic emulator, it's a hyper-realistic virtual gallery simulation of a 1980s arcade. It authentically recreates the sights, the sounds, the specific physical cabinets, the whole shebang. It's fully MAME compatible too, meaning if you provide the game files, you actually walk up to the cabinet, insert a coin, and play. You even have to wait your turn if an in-game NPC happens to be using the machine you want. It's just absolute dedicated authenticity.
Section 2. The Secret Map. Bypassing the Algorithm. So the crucial point is, to find actual quality in this ecosystem right now, you really have to rely on human-led curation, not machine algorithms. The community has totally stepped up here.
You should definitely be checking out the monthly hidden gem megathreads on subreddits like r/MetaQuestVR, where users are actively sharing their non-sponsored favorites. You've also got to utilize third-party databases like Quest Store DB and VRDB. Oh, and right inside the official headset, you need to use the sort by date hack on the Meta Store so you can actually see new releases chronologically instead of by algorithmic popularity. And for sure, leverage SideQuest for those highly specific category filters that the official store is completely missing.
And let's talk about how this all fits into the broader media landscape. Traditional gaming websites have largely stepped back from covering VR, so the responsibility for discovery has entirely shifted to dedicated YouTube and TikTok influencers. They're effectively the new storefront gatekeepers. For instance, ThrillSeeker is absolutely vital for market trends and digging up hidden gems. Gamertag VR is all about authentic advocacy for indie developers. Beardo Benjo is your go-to guy for cozy and modded immersion, while creators like J-Man Curly are driving massive youth onboarding through social viral loops. Basically, curating your follow list is how you curate your headset these days.
Section 3. The Horizon. The VR ecosystem's future.
For years, a massive point of friction was how Meta cluttered up the core VR store by integrating their social platform Horizon Worlds right into it. It created this super fragmented UI, often displaying user-created worlds as installed apps. Well, after a ton of developer outrage, Meta initiated a platform bifurcation. Step 1, removing individual Horizon Worlds from the VR store shelves. Step 2, separating them entirely in the mobile app. This clears up the UI clutter, finally granting premium third-party developers a fighting chance at store impressions. Now, Meta could easily go a step further and implement a rotating indie spotlight or an editorialized front page to really fix discovery, but given their intense focus on their own metaverse ecosystem, they probably won't.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how Meta's own data shows that the modern VR audience requires entirely different methods of software discovery. You've got the VR elites relying on SideQuest and PC VR modding, but honestly, their spending is stagnating. Then you have the teens, who have the highest activity, but they discover games almost entirely through social video viral loops on TikTok. But the high-growth area? That's mainstream adults. These users often buy a headset just to watch an NFL game and only later look for mid-core games through external reviews. The takeaway here? A single algorithm simply cannot serve all these distinct groups.
Which brings us to a major structural question for the industry. If hidden gems exist and nobody finds them, does that hurt the long-term case for VR game development? Absolutely. It forces a pretty harsh reality upon developers. Making a great game just isn't enough anymore. Developers now have to manufacture external intent. They literally have to engineer viral moments on TikTok, build massive Discord communities, and relentlessly market outside the headset because they know the store is not going to naturally surface their work. It significantly raises the barrier to entry for any small studio.
So, we're going to end this explainer with a direct call to adventure for you. Your challenge is to take active, immediate control of your VR library today. Grab the secret map we just discussed, bypass the algorithm, use that sort by date hack, check a Reddit megathread, or just pick one of the hidden gems we highlighted today, whether that's the cozy mixed reality of puzzling places or diving into the deep immersion of Riven VR. Just go play one of them before our next explainer. Support the developers doing incredible unseen work.
And I want to leave you with this final provocative question to spark some of our own community curation down in the comments. What is the most underrated VR game you've personally discovered? And exactly how did you find it? Did a friend tell you? Did you stumble upon it in some niche forum? Share your discoveries and let's keep this digital treasure hunt going. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.